Degen Dad's podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be going over some crypto airdrops that just happened and that are happening in the near future, making sure that you and, of course, us do not miss them. Some crazy 100x meme coin returns. Kyle just called one within the last few weeks. We're going to talk about that in this episode and maybe talk about some other ones that we're looking at. And, of course, some crypto predictions and NFT predictions for 2024. With all that being said, Kyle's got a market report for us today. And yeah, Kyle, pass it off to you.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull it up here. Let me drop that down, move that over so you guys don't see my OBS. Yeah, so let's take a look at the market here. You can see, Matrix Cuckoo, that mobile Web3 game doing really well. 3 ETH floor, pretty insane volume as well in the last 24 hours still. Overworld, not too surprised on this one. Another game rounded out by Pudgy Penguins. DGod's moving up a little bit. You have another Ubisoft Web3 game. Is my screen glitching, or is that SoCal?
No, it looks good to me. Yeah, sorry. I put SoCal up there. He said, "Hey guys," and I put Lynn's up there.
Okay,
so I'll put that down real quick so we can.
All right, no, it's just my monitor's freezing up or something. Anyways, moving forward, we have BRC20 tokens dominating in the wider space here. Bitcoin sales are pretty much flipped ETH by a factor of 3 if you consider BRC20s. Solana punks are doing well, so not too far behind ETH. Really in DeFi land, Solana's been killing it too. Flipped ETH and DeFi, so that's some pretty notable things there. Bitcoin Frogs has been doing really well the past few weeks. It's still pretty up on the charts if you take away the BRC20s. And lastly, the volume here in the NFT space, you can see it's been kind of not necessarily downtrending. It's just I think we're consolidating here in this volume. And I think once we start moving forward into next year and crypto starts doing a little bit good, I think the volume starts to pick back up. And lastly, you can see this chart is more of a weekly volume. You can see the clear uptick here, and I think we'll kind of see this cup and handle pattern over time play out in the next coming months. But yeah, OpenSea, more gaming projects, little pudgies, but yeah, I mean, not too big of a surprise in the wider space. But yeah, back to you.
Okay, man. Thank you for that awesome market report. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the chat. Got Ninja Gua saying hi. Got SoCal and got Lens. Yeah, man. There's a couple things in there I actually didn't even think about mentioning today, but now that you pointed it out, Bitcoin Frogs, man. We both covered them like back in March of this year, maybe even earlier than that. There was a free mint. Then they went all the way down to like $200, and they just broke an all-time high this week. I think one of the highest like floor prices, so not sales, but floor prices was around 0.46 Bitcoin. We're not talking about Ethereum, bro. We're talking about Bitcoin. That's around $20,000. So you literally could have bought these things for $300 a pop. There's 10,000 of them back in February, March-ish of this year, and sold for close to 20 grand right now. Like that's like a never heard of return like in like traditional finance. Like it's wild.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, the amount of moves you can make in the space are astounding, and that was in like the bear market, right? The frogs like emerged in like a pretty much a bear market, if I remember right. And I mean, yeah, ordinals have like many more legs to grow on here. Like there's other collections out there, a lot of good opportunities if you're able to dig through the weeds and find them. I mean, yeah, this space is still going to be, I mean, we're still early. We have a new area. What's up? Yeah, we got a meat packer over there. Packing the meat. What's going on? So Sausager fam in the house from AVAX. AVAX also, they have kind of inscriptions. It's been popping off. AVAX has been performing well. Still lots of transactions per second despite the inscription inflow. It has increased gas, but that's also by design. And if you don't like that, you can also, games and projects can just move to the subnet level for like literally like penny, like less than a penny of gas fees over there. So yeah, sound money subholders, yeah, cuckolders.
Stay Winning Podcast said, Chris, I will message you on X. I may have some money for you, no joke. I like money. Money sounds good. Stay Winning Podcast, I actually met him in person, and I recently did a video on this, but he gave me a like Snake energy drink, and Snake is like Cardano's meme coin. I don't own any of it, but I thought that was really cool of them, and then the fact that they have like an energy drink and everything was really cool as well. Yeah, man, the Bitcoin ordinal started a trickle effect, as you mentioned, and they kind of started this new like inscription meta, which is essentially you like put the file of these of what you're inscribing like on the actual chain, So for Bitcoin ordinals, which is what I'm most familiar with, you inscribe them on Satoshis, but AVAX started doing that. What do you call AVAX? I know they call it like AVAX inscriptions or something, but does AVAX have a name for like smaller AVAXs, like how Satoshis are to?
I don't think so. No, I haven't heard anybody mention any smaller, like, yeah. I mean, maybe the founder does, or maybe I haven't heard it though. Yeah, that'd be interesting. And
I think
what
Sol
would
has a
you?
name. I know obviously they call them subscriptions, but I think they actually have a name for like the mini Sol, whatever Solana is made up of. But they have those too.
I know somebody launched a token. It was like Avas was the first like BRC or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
BRC20 of AVAX, but I haven't bought into. I don't know. I like if I'm gonna do ordinals, I think I'm just sticking to Bitcoin. To me, it just makes more. I mean,
Yes.
AVAX is cool if you like that, but for me, it's just I think my more cup of tea that I like is just like if I'm doing ordinals, BRCs, and all that, I'm just gonna do them on Bitcoin because that's like the mother chain.
Well,
So
yeah, one of the whole points besides like provenance is the fact that Bitcoin doesn't have smart contracts. So it's sort of a way to like mimic smart contracts by
there
doing
was a
Bitcoin
need for it.
ordinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a need for it. So on the other chains, it's like I guess I can see that like it points to like the chain itself, but it is to me more so a meta than it is like practicality. And it's also just a little like I don't know, like the AVAX ones. You mentioned AVAS, like we were talking about the AVAX inscriptions, but it's also a little sketchy. Somebody in the chat, where's it at? They're just saying like it's hard to like sift through the weeds. Here, Lynn said, "How do you go about digging through the weeds? So much noise out there." I mean, the first time I saw AVAX inscriptions, it was literally like a random person sent me like, "Hey, check these out," and it's like avaxinscriptions.com. And it's like connect your wallet, and it's like that's of course, like in me, it's like, yeah, if I'm early to this, it could have massive returns, or I could also like get my wallet drained.
Right.
But you actually have a way. I saw you posted on Twitter. You've been talking about it for a while to avoid getting your wallet drained and to be like super fast and early to these tokens. It's a bot, so almost every chain has like their bot. Unibot's kind of, we had None, rest in peace. None was such a good Discord bot.
Yeah.
But
Rip.
you want to talk about a little bit about the one that you've been using for AVAX and kind of why this is important?
Yeah, so this is just here's the interface. It's simple. It's on Telegram. It's not, don't overthink this. It's just a Telegram bot. But what makes it interesting is like if you are on AVAX, it's like literally the only bot that you can use over there right now, from what I've seen, at least from so far. So yeah, I could spin up like for example, I could just spin up a hot wallet. Hang on, just let me see if I can do that real quick. So yeah, new wallet right there, create a new random wallet, and it'll just spin up a hot wallet right there for me. I can deposit like some AVAX over here. I can withdraw. I can even import a wallet. I can buy directly from the app here. So this is interesting because that way you don't have to conduct your business and your trading like from your actual like regular wallets. Even if you like have a quote unquote like hot wallet over there on like your browser or whatever, then you still might not want to do transactions in that wallet. It's like, well, what if I have some AVAX? Like, I still don't want to do. So you can use this trading bot on Telegram to kind of proxy that out a little bit and have that more isolated. So if you do buy like, if you're, you do accidentally buy, a honeypot or something like that, only that wallet gets drained, and you all your other funds on your other wallets are totally fine. And then you can create as many of those wallets as you want. So like if you trade one token on one wallet, you could do that inside that Telegram bot. And then you can, again, have multiple wallets. And then if you want to do like the whole DeFi move and farm, these DeFi protocols in more of a safe way as well, that may be another interesting thing. You might want to like buy their tokens or whatever there. And then you can export it, that wallet, into like some random browser. You might not be using like I don't know, Internet Explorer or Firefox. And then mess around with DeFi and that too. So I find it really interesting. It's easy. Again, it works natively with AVAX, and that's where I'm at a lot of the time these days. So that's why I've been testing it out, using it. Now they are, pretty new. They're adding features, iterating pretty quickly. So there is some kind of like a little beta vibe to it, but for the most part, they've like iterated so quickly. Like they've added like the wallet balances. You can see your holdings in there now. You do have to, like, the gas fees are preset, so keep that in mind. I think they have it set at like 80% slippage, so your transaction like goes through first. So Again, it's like sniping. You want to snipe tokens quickly. So sometimes you will have to like have a gas war. So keep that in mind. You might want to reduce that to like only 10%. So yeah, adjust your settings, do all that, what you need to do before you start using that. But yeah, it's interesting. I like it.
And so there is a referral for it too. I'm going to leave Kyle's below when we finish this video. If you want to look into it and check it out, I'll leave his link. I do have a few questions for it because I don't use it. I would like to, but I just haven't yet. So is holding the actual token of the AVAX bot that you're talking about, how is it bracketed? Like, do I need a certain amount of that token to unlock certain features or to get discounts, or like how does that work with like holding the token versus having the bot?
Yeah, so far the only feature I've seen for the token side is that they have a revenue share. So if you hold the token, you get a split of the revenue. And I think that's what a lot of people like, why a lot of people like bots, is because they get a split of that. If the bot does really well in that ecosystem, the holders get like a split of those trading fees. But I think also, I'm not sure if they've released features. If you hold X amount of tokens, you have like less fees inside the actual trading bot. So that's one thing you do consider, is like as you're trading, there's a fraction of your fee that's going to go to, the token holders for using their bot. So since it is a service, part of those transactions will go to a fee. So it's a part of being safe, in this kind of meme economy and meme world, and trading these like coins. If you're into that, even if you're just trading regular stuff, I mean, it is you could still utilize it. So it's interesting. And token holders get a fee of the revenue generated by the bot. And I do hold some of those tokens. I don't hold like a tremendous amount, but just a little bit, in case they, iterate and have more features coming out or reduce fees for holders. So I do have some of those tokens for sure.
And two things. What's the name of the token so I can look it up real quick?
Yeah, it's AVB. That's it. AVB.
Okay.
Not to be confused. There's other tickers out there that are trying to like impersonate, or they're not like actual bots at all. They're just a website. So don't get scammed or fooled. So this one is like, again, as far as I know, the only bot that actually is live right now. So market cap's really low. Keep that in mind.
Or less than $1 million market cap.
Oh yeah. Total diluted and market cap. Yeah, so it's around a little under $1 million. Again, obviously this is risky because it could go to zero or get, if this bot like for some reason like went offline, then of course the market cap might like just get crushed. So if you're so you always want to do your due diligence there. Only risk what you're willing to lose. Not financial advice. Blah blah blah. All that good stuff. So.
But to be fair, Kyle, and obviously, like, we always want people to be safe. I mean, literally, like, None was like one of my favorite bots I've ever used, and it went to zero because the founders rugged. So, that sucks. It can happen to anybody. But if you're looking at it from like a potential perspective too, I mean, at least for me, I mean, under $1 million market cap, dude, bot. If this is AVAX's bot, I mean, let's look at comparisons like Unibot, man. Like Unibot would be obviously a much bigger bot. Is this the right one? Yeah, $48 million market cap, bro. So you're looking at like 50 times the market cap of this AVAX. Now, I'm not saying it's going to pull a Unibot. What's another comparison? There's Unibot. I had another one recently, but what I'm trying to say is
the banana bot or whatever. Yeah, that's like pretty. Banana bot's really
$30 million market cap for banana bot.
And that one's always showing up if you go to like ultrasoundmoney.com, which is like, it has a burn list on Ethereum layer 1, and BananaBot is like always in the top 5. So this is how like utilized Banana is that, people are using this bot very actively. I think they even do they have their own, I guess they would have their own like, system or DEX or some, I don't know what they have done on the back end, but it shows up on Ethereum layer 1, like on the burn leaderboard, like on a week, like, cause I check it on a weekly, like 2 or 3 times a week. I check the burn leaderboard. They're always up there. So again, if AVAX if it's like the only AVAX bot and one of the best out there in the ecosystem, then I could see it doing really well too. So
we have breaking news for content creators that I just found out.
Yeah. What's
really annoying breaking news, bro? I just realized that our chat is filtering Twitter through as well. Look at the little X symbol. We got Chase off of X. We got Big Walk off of X. We got the new arrows from X. You know how it doesn't usually filter X messages through streaming devices, but now it is. And I think it even shows us at the top.
Oh, messages?
Yeah, like the chat. Like you know how the chat on X doesn't usually filter through? It does now. And then even the views, it shows like who's from Twitter and who's from YouTube. That's so like everybody's together in one place. It's like one big party now.
Yeah, I saw that they integrated chat. I had no idea about the that's cool that they do it over there too on X. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I didn't realize that at all. Awesome, guys. So yeah, you're tuning in from YouTube and Twitter. By the way, this podcast is weekly. It's on my channel every other week, and then it's on Kyle's every other week as well. So next week we'll be on. Well, yeah, next week if Christmas doesn't. I know we're both going to be busy for Christmas, but maybe later in the week we'll still be on that. Either way, it's every other week. So yeah, we'll move on to the next topic. I know Kyle, you're kind of on a time budget today, but we got so much to get to. Bro, you called a banger. I mean, you bought this token at a $3 million market cap, and it just freaking ripped, bro. You want to talk about it? You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, the COQ ticker.
Yes.
Yeah, this one I got pretty early. I just got glimpses of like, I'm always following the AVAX guys around, their team in each ecosystem, and I'm always like pretty in tune with what they're doing. So yeah, I saw them originally, like they were posting memes, and like obviously I saw them get into Dokio and change their PFPs to Dokio. So I was like really involved, right, at a community level in the AVAX system. And I knew that there's going to be opportunities presenting themselves, especially after like Dokio popped off hard on the NFT side. And then of course, meme coin season's here. So for me to see like the COQ ticker very early, I knew it was onto something, right? I knew this was like kind of lightning in a bottle moment. There's a lot of like base things around it. Like there's an NFT project that was early to AVAX that has like chickens as the art that are upgradable chickens and things like that. So it's already like known in the community, AVAX community. And so I knew this ticker was going to do well. It even starts with like the smart contract starts with OX420. So it's like they have like all these like funny things going on about it. And that was by accident too, complete accident that the contract smarted. Yeah. So and it's like there's literally at the time there was no like dominating meme coin on AVAX. And if you just saw Bonk blow up, you just saw all these other memes like in other different ecosystems pop off. This was like a kind of a mathematics, like 2 + 2 = 4, like kind of equation, right? You're like, this is obviously going to do really well. AVAX doesn't have an ecosystem meme coin yet. And obviously like Meat was kind of like in the running at the time. And this one, became the dominant player, of course, just because they had so many like, things going for it. Again, it was like lightning in a bottle. So
bro,
it just completely ripped.
Cap, man. Like you got in at 3 mil, you told us about it. I got in at 6.11 mil, and it's at 200. Did you expect it to be 200 million in like 2 weeks?
Not in 2 weeks. I knew it was going to get there. I knew it was going to get to like, I still think it's going to get even, of course, like higher than that. But just because like looking at Bonk what hit over, Bonk went insane.
Yeah.
Bonk was, I think Bonk was at multiple billions. Yeah. The other day it's corrected to 1, but even if you look at Sheeb in the bull run, Shiba Inu went to like 40 billion market cap. So with these things, like
if you imagine a 40x from here, or that's
it would be more than, it'd be like 80x from here or something.
I'll just alone, from the other one. Yeah, dude, that's it.
I couldn't imagine, man, but
it's kind of cool to see that like chain doesn't matter too much when it comes to these tokens, because like once they start hitting exchanges where like like KuCoin and eventually like Coinbase, like Bonkit or whatever. People just buy it, they just want to get in on the meme. They don't care if it's on AVAX, Solana, Ethereum, or whatever. They just buy it.
Yeah. So once these get to exchanges, it's like another like ballpark. I do think the COQ ticker has a better ticker. It's a better meme than the Bonk, in my opinion. So I do think there's a lot of potential there. Obviously Solana is like popping off so hard. So I still think there's like early opportunity. Like I don't want to give any of like financial advice around a meme coin because
Yeah, of course.
it's a meme coin for God's sake. So what can you do? But it's important to like do educated type of things like this. So, I see people out there getting into like these like degen like meme coins that like to me they just never will do well because they're not based, they don't have anything going for it. It's created by a shady person. They've involved influencers, like, and then you can go to a contract scanner and there's like all these like potential like warning signs about the smart contract level. So those are like all the little things you have to look for in these smart contracts behind the memes as well. So like a lot of people don't do their due diligence on any of that. They're just like, oh, this meme looks funny, so I'm just going to invest into it. There's actually a little bit more involved when you're looking at some of these things. So again, you always want to do your research, and that's pretty much the synopsis of what we're doing here. So
yeah, man.
As funny as that sounds, I know this ticker is absolutely funny, but
yeah, I got one like just as bad, man, but it hasn't launched yet. I did put it in one of my recent videos. I believe it was either Yaba. I'm pretty sure it was Yaba that made the call on it, and then Crier got in afterwards. Like I said, it hasn't been released. It's going to be on an Injective blockchain, which, by the way, Injective has been doing freaking numbers, bro. Injective is another L1. We're up 58% in the last month. I actually just swapped over a bunch of Ethereum like right before this like recent like blow off this like recent like rocket right here. But so kind of like our narrative we're sort of going with, obviously not financial advice. This is like wild stuff, every chain needs some sort of meme coin, right? And so on Injective, some of the developers of Injective created an NFT project. Long story short for that, let me find it real quick. Basically, what is it called? Injective quants, I think is what they're called. Okay. Yeah. So these Injective quants, they're like self-titling themselves the most anticipated Injective meme coin. Each quant gets an allocation of the meme coin token. I don't know where they drop that. So obviously like go do your due diligence and make sure. So these are NFTs on Injective. There is 10,000 of them. And I think each one it gets like a specific allocation to the 10,000. So the whole supply, and to my understanding, is going to each person holding an Injective. Do I think that this is going to do the same numbers that we just looked at? Absolutely not. But I mean, even if it does like a fraction of that, if you're getting the initial pre-sale, which is like basically if you have an Injective, you pay $10 and then you get the allocation. I mean, to me, it's worth it. But I mean, it's just something to look into.
what are they going for on those NFTs? What's the floor price?
I think they're at like we can actually look at it. I was trying to find the actual announcement for the token first. I probably should have had that pulled up ahead of time. But these things were going for. I bought mine actually a little high, so I have one, of course, at like 14 Injective, and I think here it is. Yeah, so this is the token, QUNT, and it's so yeah.
Yeah, that's a meme hitter right there. I'm just gonna tell you, as long as the team, I haven't looked into it, but that has lots of meme potential.
So here's the total supply, the price, and here's what I was talking about. Each quant represents a max allocation of 100,000 tokens, and obviously that math doesn't add up. So the way that they're doing it, like I forgot the pro rata basis for that. Let's go ahead and look at I forgot the name of the thing that they're on. They're basically, whoops, I don't want to pull up my Discord. I think they're around like 11 Injective or 12 Injective last time I checked. They're going to be around that. So they're probably going for like almost $500 right now. So it's pretty steep entry price for the risk, but it's just something interesting to put on everybody's radar. I bought mine at 14 Injective, and they've kind of like bounced from like 11 to 15. If I could remember the name of this marketplace, because there's also more things going on. So the name of this video is Airdrops, and there's another airdrop on top of this. It's also on Injective. It's called Talus. Talus is the marketplace, and I don't know. So basically, you can stake your Injective, and it kind of like Cardano, how you like delegate it to like certain things. There's a few of them that you can build up an airdrop on right now. One of them was Talus. I think Talus already had their snapshot. Another one is Black Panther, and then there's a few more. So here's the quants. They do that. Yeah, they're back up to 13.79, which is good for me. I guess bad for people watching the video because I think I bought around like 14.
What's the allocation for holders? Is that like I know there's a chart over there, like out of the 10,000, what does that look like for holders?
Yeah, that's what I had earlier. It was like way down here. Let me scroll back. It was 100,000 per holder, and I think that's like the max like supply. Here it is. Wait. Nope, that's the mint base. Yeah, I think it's 100,000 per holder, and but it's a pro rata basis, so it depends on like who all actually like claims it.
Their claims.
So yeah.
What was the total supply on that? Like 700,000, or was it 700 or
on the token or on the NFT?
Either token.
The token, it was like we're almost to it. Total supply is 777,777,777. And the price
100,000. So that's not bad. That's pretty good. So that's a pretty good allocation size. And then the price at 0001, that could be a pretty big hitter.
Yeah. So you pay like $10. So like you get the pre-sale like allocation of $10. So you pay $10 for 100,000 tokens. If you own this NFT. So I don't know. Again, super speculative, just something to like keep on your radar. I know people with up to 6 of these. You're supposed to have 3. You're supposed to have a max of 3. I think it says in this. Here's them just saying you just need a quant. And I also, so another thing to keep in mind is like you do still have the NFT after this is done. Now they're going to dump immediately, but you still might be able to get some back if you're not going to hold on to it. The last thing I'll say about this, we'll move on. Quants was like the free airdrop to like the I guess like blue chip, quote on Injective, which was Ninjas. I think Ninjas was the one that was like developed by the some of the devs of Injective blockchain, and then they airdrop Quant, so they're also part of that. So this isn't Quants themselves are not really like the blue chip of the block of like Injective. They're kind of like the free airdrop to that. I guess you could almost,
but it's like the meme community culture.
The
official meme community.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Just something interesting, keep on the radar. Shout out to Yaba. Just blame Yaba. If this goes
if it goes to south, 0, we blame Yaba. Yaba's part of the inner end.
It goes 100x.
Yeah.
If it goes to 100x, subscribe to our podcast and follow us weekly for more updates. I think I'm lagging a little bit. I see the connection. I wanted to talk a little bit too, man, about the Solana phone. So the Solana phone, talking about airdrops, was like $500, and basically people found an arbitrage opportunity where if you bought the Solana phone, you would be able to get enough bonk with it because it came with bonk, that meme coin we were talking about earlier, that would pay off the phone. Well, after that, they actually announced more partnerships and more airdrops. So like just yesterday, they got like another $250 airdrop to them. And there's speculation of I think it's Jupiter, another airdrop that would like actually be like a pretty like large figure, all just from like buying this phone. Meanwhile, one of the biggest tech reviewers out there, Marquise Brownlee, reviewed this phone and gave it a horrible rating in the past. And he like doubled down recently. He doubled down like today, 2 hours before this podcast, and he rated the Solana Saga crypto phone the bust of the year. Man,
yeah. I mean, not too surprised here that he did that because it's just an easy target. He does videos on like Apple and Samsung, so he picked the lowest hanging fruit to pick on, which was the Solana phone. Obviously the phone does need like some upgrades and some polish, but it is the version 1 of Solana phone. So phones, when they first start out, they're not always the most robust piece of hardware. but it does have crypto functionality in there, and it's not entirely controlled by Apple or Google. So Solana has a little bit more say in there to what they can put on the app. And think of this as like a Web3. Not only like it feels like you're getting access to Web3 projects by holding this phone, like the bonk drop, right? Or the bonk loaded up in there. And then you also have like other projects if they add utility to this phone as well. So again, this is version 1 of something that could be much more. That like, sure, Marcus can like judge it based on like, hardware benchmarks, but what you can't really base it on is the actual Web3 utility side, which he didn't really like talk about too much, which, respectfully, I see from his point of view, like why he wouldn't cover like any kind of Web3, like any utility, because there really wasn't any back then. But moving forward, there actually was utility buying the phone. For the first few people that bought it, you could mint an NFT, and then I think you got like a Claynosaur like whitelist allocation. So there was benefits to it. And that could have made you a lot of money. But of course, he's not going to talk about that. So
and not even just that. So like that's obviously big. I still feel like that can be perceived as like, oh, they're trying to give away free stuff to sell the phone. Easy had a really good write-up on this. I won't read it verbatim. But basically he was talking about how not just this phone, but like new products, but one of them is the phone, the Solana Sega, is like paying you for your data. So, and then he goes in to talk about mobile token. It's given to users who enable your geolocations and do what they call mapping in a way to power their mobile network through a mesh network. So you're essentially selling your location data and leveraging your data and travel to strengthen a mobile network. Traditionally, companies would have to pay insane amounts of money to get the APIs or other references for this. So I'm not going to read the second part, but the second part is basically talking about this other product that's doing the dash cam, which I'm thinking about getting because I need a dash cam anyways. And basically use the dash cam to like help.
I know somebody using that. They got like $100 their first like week. It was like ridiculous.
Just using the dash cam. So like, there's more to this. Like a lot of these companies have always used your data, sold your data, or, abused it. Whereas like Web3 is kind of giving, exactly like Easy says, power back to the people to where you're kind of in control of like what happens over your data. So obviously Marquise isn't going to look over all that. He probably doesn't really have a grasp on that.
He's just going to do it based off of like specs, spec to spec battle. He's not going to look into the back end or what the long-term vision for this like product or phone is. Like, it's not in his best interest for his YouTube channel either. So I get why, like, again, why he picked on the Solana phone, because, he knows he doesn't have to, like, in the future, it has the biggest chance to make, like, risk and failure, but it also, you never know. He might have to cover it again in the future if they keep iterating and building it. So it's going to be funny if Solana in, like, 5 or 10 years is, like, a dominant mobile phone, because then it's like, well, my first, like, he's going to have to reference that first video all over again, so.
Dude, it's funny. I mean, you've been talking about the Solana phone forever too. Like we talked about it when it was still $1,000, and then they couldn't sell out, so they cut the price down to $500, and then like nobody cared. To be honest, the only reason everybody cared right now is because there's arbitrage opportunity. So
and the bonk, they had like
that's what I mean. Yeah, the bonk paid for itself, and then you had the phone that you could resell, and then the phone got squeezed. So now the phone's worth a lot of money, and there's speculation over other airdrops
over time, and it's a collectible if you keep it sealed. It could be, worth a lot of money in like 5 or 10 years. In my opinion, it could be, if it's success,
I mean, the first Apple phone, I mean, not to like compare this thing, this is the next Apple, but like, somebody just sold an Apple Gen 1 sealed for 80 grand, like during this bear market. So that's pretty wild. Big A said, still getting helium from my helium miner I've had running for 3 years. I can add a small
helium miners
level 2, but it's 1K for the antenna.
Yeah, I almost got into helium mining a while back too. I just never did. I just was like, that's one more thing I have to manage. But if you have the free time, I know a lot of people that do helium miners. I mean, back in the day, Taps Trades, I think, was trying to do helium mining as well. So
rest in peace, Taps. Rest in peace.
I know. I don't know what happened to Taps, man. He kept saying he was going to come back. It was like Tupac, you're like, oh, I think is Tupac back? And you're like, oh no, he's like, he actually died and he's never coming back. Like that's no, yeah. Rest in peace, Taps. But perhaps he comes back one day. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, sweet. We Kyle's got a dip a little early today. Yo, chat was awesome. Thank all of you guys. I don't know if I missed anybody. Yeah, Big Walk said Frog's like $100 in March. Super Rush said Toby to the moon. There's a couple more people in chat. Of course, we highlighted Big A. Abdullah said GM. A couple of other GMs. Chat was awesome today. Thank you guys so much. Tune in next week on Kyle's channel. And you guys have an awesome week. I'm still doing so 2 more calls to action, I guess. Is I'm still doing my 12 days of Christmas, Gainesmas. So this is going to be one because we talked about so much today. And then I'm going to leave Kyle's affiliate for the AVAX sniper bot that he talked about down below. Give me just like 10 minutes after I conclude this live, and it'll kind of show you the sign up, and it would help Kyle out to some capacity. So with all that being said, thanks everybody for stopping by. Kyle, got any final words?
Be safe out there. Market's going to be probably volatile moving forward. I know I made a post about a bull run, and people misread that, but yeah, just be safe out there, and do your due diligence and research, and hodl along.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Happy holidays.
Bitcoin ETF should happen. January 10th, I think, is like one of the final deadlines, but is it going to be a sell the news event, or is it going to, completely, rocket the market? Well, guess we'll find out on the next episode of Deej and Dads. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Will we see him next year? I think we will. We'll see you guys next year. Happy New Year as well for the coming New Year.
Unless we do, like, it just depends how busy you are. So we'll figure it out. we'll see you guys soon.
We'll figure it out.
Right.
We may or may not see you next year. We may see you before then one more time. But dad jokes all day. No, that's all I got.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Bye.
Peace.
Yeah,